So Racheal, the entire C&C team came up with this property report for this week, property. How is 2018 looking like for the property market?
Actually, there are a mix of comments, but majority of them say there will be a slight improvement next year. But there are also some factors that will affect, especially the upcoming general elections.
So actually this year, so you talk to so many of them, right? Most of them are from the property consultants. So what is everyone looking for this year?
They are, of course, hoping for strong and sustainable economic growth. But at the same time, for property sector itself, they actually hope to have a one-stop agency for affordable housing. Like, the agency the federal agency that all the developers or all the parties that will go to, rather than, there are few right now that they have to deal with.
Yeah, correct. I think right now we have like Prima, we have PPA, 1M, so it's quite confusing for the buyers and also for the developers which one they want to work for. So it's actually a good idea for them to streamline it and consolidate it to one agency. And I think apart from affordable housing, Bank Negara as well, right? Borrowing from the banks are quite an issue in the property market. What did they say?
Yes, actually, the consultants also hope there will be like easier financing for especially first-time home buyer, not so much on the other buyer, but because it's for them to at least own a home for themselves. So that's what they hope for.
But Bank Negara say it's actually not our fault. It's actually the property developers. The price is so high, that's why people can't afford it. But developers say it's not our fault. It's the bank's fault. They don't lend money enough for the people. So is it something in between? What's wrong with it? Is it a mixture of both?
It's a mixture of both. And also, the consultant also mentioned about the compliance costs that developers have to bear, which actually this compliance cost eventually will actually transfer to the buyers, which make the higher property prices as well.
So this year, 2018, is it a good year for us to invest in property?
Yes, it is. I mean, only for those who buy for own sake and not buy for investment or flipping. Because prices has been stagnant and all, then it's good for them to, if they buy for the intention for their own sake, then it would be good.
What about investing in property?
Investing for a property, there are several factors that have to look into, like locations, accessibility, and catchment of that area itself. Like because you can't just buy and just invest. You have to look at all these things, because public transportations, for example, can attract certain group of people because they just don't want to drive, because they don't like the traffic jams and all. And also the catchment, because for let's say a place with a lot of universities, they can actually rent it to students. So these are the factors, these are the things that investors need to look into when they buy for investments.
So Racheal, a couple of weeks ago, I went to Sunway Iskandar. They say it's easier for them to sell if compared to plot developer, because they are not plot developers, they are township developers. So within a township, they have hospitals, they have schools, they have everything, right? So it's easier for them to sell as compared with stand-alone developer, plot developer. So, but we don't have too many township developers in KL, right? Because it's such we don't see a lot of lands basically in KL. So what did these consultants say when we want to select the right property to buy in KL or within or the outskirts of KL?
Actually, consultants actually say that for those who prefer landed homes, they should go to outskirts of Klang Valley for more conducive living environment.
So basically, it's also larger, and it's also they can get cheaper price from the outskirts of the KL.
Yes.
You basically cannot really get this kind of deal in KL anymore.
Yes.
For more on the stories, pick up a copy of The Edge Weekly at all good newsstands.